is a resolution that I'm going to ask Administrator Walgamuth to read. It's called the Payroll Protection Act, and it's not something that we as a Board of Commissioners can enact at this time, but I'm asking that we vote on it merely to indicate to the state that we're interested in the legislation that would require this.
This would be Resolution 36-2014A. I just mentioned that because the resolution approved for the LERTA was 36-2014. To read, whereas it is illegal to use public resources for political and partisan purposes, and whereas public sector employee unions engage in and spend money on political and partisan activity, including direct campaign contributions to candidates for local, state, and national office, get out the vote efforts, issue advocacy, contributions to third-party political and partisan organizations, endorsements of candidates, as well as fundraising for campaign contributions to union political action in Pennsylvania.
Make that motion.
Second.
Is there any,
What's an old?
hold on.
Oh,
Hold on.
okay.
Commissioners go first.
Yeah, okay.
Are there any comments from either of you?
It's actually pretty clear, but I will comment on it. At the present time, not only the county, but school districts and municipalities are deducting dues and fair share amounts from employees' paychecks, using government employees to calculate those deductions, print the checks, send the money to the union. And if one of us had county employees working on our campaign, and a lot of this money goes to campaigns, we would be brought up on charges. But in order to meet the needs of the unions, we have been required to negotiate, that's a negotiable item, to actually have county employees do the work of collecting their dues. And they should be just like any other entity or any other business. It should be their responsibility to collect the dues from their members. So that's the move.
Okay, no, wait.
You
We're
told
not,
me
we're
when
not,
I could speak.
please, thank you. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
done.
Did you have anything back
No.
to that? Okay. I'd just like to say that I was able to, I appreciate a copy of the resolution in advance, but I'm not allowed to discuss it in advance with my colleagues due to the sunshine law. So I did some research and was able to find an article by CNN, and that article was very enlightening to me. And it said basically that for 35 years this law has been on the books, and it has been negotiated, as you acknowledged. So I would caution that if we do something contrary to law, we could be slapped with an unfair labor practice, number one. And number two, the second part was that I found out that this issue is before the Supreme Court, and the courts are constitutionally superior to the county commissioners, and that they make the law of the land. So if we proceed with this, we stand to agitate, potentially, unless they reverse their decision from the last 35 years, there's a potential that we could agitate the courts. And I know when we had additions to this courthouse, we got into all kinds of arguments. I wasn't part of that, but it cost a lot of money. And we're here looking out for our dollars, and I would just caution that whatever the courts decide is going to happen, and we will have to follow that law. But if we jump into the mix, it could cost us taxpayer dollars to defend our actions. And so I would caution that maybe we should vote this down at this time.
We're not enacting this, Commissioner. We are voting a resolution that supports it. We're not voting to do this. I'm not saying that we should all of a sudden stop collecting union dues. This is in support of legislation that's being presented.
But the legislation would be meaningless because it's in the Supreme Court. It's a case called Harris versus Quinn, 11-681, and it is due to have a decision by late June, which is not too many months away. And I would caution that we should wait till after that time before sticking our nose into this business that is within the courts at this time. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't, because what's the court action? What is the court action?
It is over this very issue.
What is the court action? Who entered the suit? Is it a lawsuit?
What-
And what does it
Yeah.
request?
What happens is that there was a woman who was a provider for a son or daughter, her daughter actually. Susan Watts is her name. She's the plaintiff, and her daughter is quadriplegic. And so she claims, and all the different justices are commenting. I can give you a copy of the article, which I just finished reading this morning. So, but the bottom line is, it's over home care aides, and of which there are 28,000 in the state. And it covers this very issue. So I would caution against making a decision right now, and we should wait till after June.
I'm comfortable with it. I don't know what healthcare aids
Okay.
has to do with this. I'm comfortable with it.
You wanna look at it?
Call for the vote.
I think Martin has did you have something you want to say?
I'm okay with the potential agitation of the Supreme Court.
Okay. Martin, your turn.
Yeah, what you said, what, like 30-some years ago, a law's on the books or something to the effect. That would take us back to where the Reagan administration, as we all know, Reagan set out to bust the unions, and this is what it's all about. Isn't this a coincidence we have the resolution today when you two commissioners were out to bust the unions at Cedar Haven, and that's what it's all about? That's all I got to say. And by the way, see that truck on there? I was a Teamsters union. I made very good money, good benefits, and I got a pension. How many people walking around today when they're at the end of their working career aren't going to have that? They're not going to have a pension. Enough said.
Jake?
First of all, Mr. Ames, you were a teacher. Are you aware that this affects teachers and college professors and state workers? Are you aware of that?
I am.
Now, I think the message, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that there's an expense. Well, there's an expense to the county when you deduct, according to your premise, state taxes, federal taxes, United Way contributions, court orders for payment. But that is, you're gonna incur that, whether you like it or not, but somehow, taking off union dues is just a hardship on the county. Are you serious? I mean, serious, let's get serious here. And as far as, there was mention, you don't come out and say it, but the inference is that union dues are used for political purposes. There is a law, 76 pages long, that was passed several decades ago that prohibits that. It was passed up in Harrisburg. If you guys really want to know the truth and you want to do your job correctly and with transparency, you would take the time to find that out. This is simply a plan from Alec, and you know who Alec is. You all know, sitting up there, who Alec is. This is just a plan, just like the man over here said. This is an attack on unions. There's two bills up in the House and the Senate right now. Now, why would you people take the time, and someone could say the expense, of taxpayers to even discuss this? It's ridiculous. You've got a lot of problems. Are you telling me that there was a massive outpouring from the public to take away the right of unions to have their union members to have their union dues taken off your check? You've got to be kidding me. This is nothing more than an agenda from the far right of the Republican Party, and you people are buying right into it. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Why are you even taking the time and the expense to even address this issue? It's not a huge problem. Are you kidding me? And by the way, not unless this county's back in the Middle Ages, once you set up that computer system, every check comes up. If you have it right, you have the technology, and I'm assuming you do it. It's just a matter of pressing a button. Let's get real here. The expense is minuscule. It's a joke. It's a direct attack on unions. Of course, maybe the gentleman's right. Only you two know. You're having a fight with the union, therefore we're going to go after them. It's ridiculous. You people need to get your priorities. Bad enough what you're doing in Cedar Haven. Now you're attacking labor unions? Are you kidding me, Mr. Ames? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You benefited from a union.
Jake, let's not get personal, okay?
Well, he did.
Okay.
Did I say anything wrong, demeaning? I said the truth. He benefited from a union, the teachers' union got him a good retirement and a good living. Now you're turning around and you're trying to cut him off at the knees. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Ames.
Are there any other
I have a
comments?
right to say that.
Thank you, Jake. Are there any other comments? Any other questions? If not, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor of this resolution say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Aye. Motion carries.